Landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and I almost out-pizzaed the hut. But do me a favor and hit that like button to the terrorists win, and I'm checking my email the other day, and who should reach out to me but urFLAMP. Yep, that's who it is, urFLAMP. Your flashlight lamp. So they offered us in this thing, and I'm not one to turn down a free flashlight. I know this is normally a knife channel, but I'm starting to have a lot of fun with flashlights. They're just fun gadgets, and I know a lot of you guys like flashlights too. So here we are together in this point in space and time. Now let's get into this thing. Gimme. Time. Okay, now that we got the boy out, we got our plastic tray, we have got the USB-C charger, we got a lanyard for this thing, and we got a user's manual. Okay, so now we got all that out of the way. This thing is good and basic. A lot of the flashlights that, are for sale right now, a lot of them are going to be, flashlight, strobe light, USB or RGB light. They're going to be black light, stuff like that. And then you get stuff like this. So this thing is the V63-S, and they're $39.99 on Amazon right now. I will put a link to that in the description in case you want to check this thing out. But first things first, let's go out to the driveway. We're going to compare this to the high beams on Truck Norris. We're going to look at some treetops and look down the length of the yard. I can show you how far it's throwing a beam and still being really, really bright. So here you go. All right, so welcome back out to the driveway, and now we're going to check out the urFLAMP versus the car's high beams. So here we are on low, medium, high. The high is very bright, but then you double click, we got turbo, and turbo is stupid bright. Let's see how far up in the trees we can illuminate. So that's still a really bright spotlight at tons of feet up. Now that I've actually cut my grass, like that's throwing that beam a long way. That thing is really bright. All right, let's go back inside. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is really, really damn bright, and look how compact this is. Like, it's a hell of a time to be into stuff like this. It is a hell of a time to be into stuff like this. Like, it's shocking. And again, like, I'm an older guy. I said it on the last flashlight video, but I can remember a time when the Maglite with 4D batteries, which was, about 17 inches long and weighed about 90 pounds, was the coolest thing on the planet. If you would have told me something like this would have been like 40 bucks in a few years, I would have told you that you were a liar and I was calling the pants on fire department. It's amazing. And like, this thing has one of my favorite features out of any flashlight that I've checked out so far. Of course, you got low, medium, high, and low. But if you want turbo mode, all you gotta do is double click. Like I mentioned that outside, but one thing that I really don't like about a lot of newer flashlights that I've tried out, if you want turbo mode, you gotta turn it on and then hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is just a double click. And part of that is because when you double click, you're not turning on a black light, you're not turning on an RGB light, you're not turning on red and blue flashing police lights. You're just kicking on turbo mode. Like, I love how simple and easy that is. And the base is not magnetic. They missed an opportunity on that one, but they do have some threads on here that would probably fit a standard phone tripod, which is actually pretty cool. If I had one free, I would definitely try that out, but that looks like the right thread size. So that is very, very cool on them. And one of my favorite things here is you can take this, you can pull the 18350 battery out, and a battery this small with 1100 milliamp hours is going to hold up for a good bit of use. But unscrew the base right here, unscrew the base, and you make room for an 18650. Now, it's got to be a button top. The flat tops don't work with this because on the inside, this is flat, but you get that 18650 installed. And now you have a much more capable flashlight. because these 18650s hold ungodly amounts of milliwatt hours. Like this one is claiming 3,500 milliamp hours, not milliwatt hours, but these hold a lot of milliamp hours, and these things will hold their charge forever. All right, this is out of my headband light that takes 2 of these things. And I bought it because I was setting pins on golf courses before sunrise, and I really needed the light to be hands-free. And then when I quit working the golf course, that thing sat, and it sat on my it sat on the bedside table in case the power went out, which it's been real handy for that a couple of times. And I did not charge that thing for several years. I did not charge it for several years, and it still held enough of a charge to run the light. I think we hit about the 5-year mark, maybe a little bit more than that. Power goes out, and we still had another hour and a half of juice in this thing. And that was enough to get a couple more flashlights out and get the house lit up. And don't get me wrong, after sitting for that many years, the batteries didn't charge again. They gave up the ghost. But still, these 18650s will last a long time and hold a huge amount of energy, especially for something that's taken up so little energy like these LEDs. So, you know, that's the party trick on this thing, is accepting the 18650. And these things are cheap. Like, you can get 2 of these for a few bucks, and you can USB-C charge them instead of having to buy an 18650 charger. Now, if you're like me and you're a fan of the electronic cigarette, you probably have 18650s that won't work on this, but you do have a charger for them, which will work on these button tops, which is really handy and convenient to have, especially like if you're out camping and constantly using these things. You know, you get you 2 extras of these, and you get like a stand for this or something like that. You're in business for that whole trip. You're not going to have to worry about AA batteries wearing out, or a smaller capacity like, you know, 800 milliamp hour battery wearing out after a couple of hours. These things will go forever. So, you know, like I said, it's a very basic flashlight. And don't get me wrong, I kind of miss having the black light and the RGB lights and the fidget toys and the laser pointer. Like a laser pointer in this thing with a separate button would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. But I also like the fact that 2 clicks, you get turbo mode. Like, I use my flashlights in turbo mode pretty much exclusively. Once in a while, I use the low beam to see steps going out to my truck at night or something like that. But I want my turbo, and I want my 2 clicks. Like, that is just fantastic. So, you know, basic flashlight with a feature that I am absolutely in love with, and the thing that I wanted out of my other flashlights. It's real hard to argue with. Like, that is really hard to argue with, at least for me. I really like this thing. And like I said, the ability to take the 18650s, and it still doesn't take up a whole lot of room with the 18650 in there, is also a really welcome sight. Just being able to add, like, you know, an extra 2,000 milliamp hours of battery capacity to this thing is fantastic. You know, it's a little bit customizable. Yeah, like, I can't think of a ton else to add that I haven't already covered with this thing, but at the end of the day, all in, it's a very good basic flashlight. This is going in my backpack that I take to work with me in case I need it. If I wind up with a broken down car, I'll probably miss the magnetic base on it to hold it to the underside of the hood. That seems like a missed opportunity, but other than that, you know, again, good basic flashlight, you know, and the only drawback here is it's not a flat EDC flashlight, so you don't have a belt clip on here or anything like that. You know, you don't have the clip for your hat. It is, again, very basic, kind of old school, but yeah, again, I really like it. I really like I like the 2-click turbo. I've mentioned that too many times now, and I like the expandability. So, yeah, this is the urFLAMP V63-S, and you know, do what you will with it, but I really like this thing. So all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let's say thanks to urFLAMP for sending this in for us to check out and for me to show you guys. Let me know what you think about this thing. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.